You spend $4,000 on a dream cruise, step off for just a quick look, and watch the whole ship sail away without you. Some of these people tried to swim after it. One was stuck in a full pirate costume. Another lost his passport, phone, and wallet on board, left in nothing but swim shorts and regret. These are 49 real people who missed the boat, and their reactions get funnier every single time. Hit subscribe, because number 10 is insane, and you'll never say all aboard the same way again. 1. Picture a grown man in flip-flops, sprinting down a dock like his life depends on it, which, financially, it kind of does. One flip-flop betrays him mid-stride, flies off into the void, and does he stop? No, he keeps going. One shoe on, one shoe gone. Running like this is the 100-meter final at the Sandal Olympics. And the ship? Not slowing down. Not even a little. It doesn't care about your footwear situation, buddy. The captain isn't looking back going, "Wait, that man is committed." You lost a shoe and a vacation in the same 10 seconds. Incredible efficiency, honestly. 2. This woman found the hill she was willing to die on, and it was a $2 keychain. She stood in that market, arms crossed, refusing to leave until the vendor caved to her counteroffer. And she won. She actually won. She got the keychain for her price, celebrated her little victory, then turned around to discover her entire floating hotel had left without her. So congratulations, ma'am. You saved $2 and lost a vacation that cost roughly $2,000. That is the worst exchange rate in recorded history. Somewhere that vendor is telling this story at dinner and laughing. You played yourself for a keychain. 3. This couple didn't run. They didn't panic. They did something far more useless. They argued. I told you to check the time. No, you said you'd check it. Meanwhile, behind them, the ship is casually gliding out of the harbor like it's leaving a bad party. Guys, the blame game can wait. Maybe address the 4,000-ton problem sailing away first? But no, they stood there relitigating whose fault it was, while the actual solution got smaller and smaller on the horizon. Marriage counselors call this a communication issue. I call it losing a cruise because neither of you owns a watch. 4. The influencer. Perched on a scenic cliff, chasing the perfect sunset shot, angling for that golden light that says, "I'm effortlessly adventurous." And she got it. Genuinely nailed the photo. Then she turned around, glowing with satisfaction, and saw her ship, her ride, her bed, her belongings, reduced to a tiny speck bobbing on the horizon. The sunset was stunning. The caption practically wrote itself. Shame she'd be posting it from a foreign dock with no charger and no way home. That's 10,000 likes and 0 ways back to the boat. Priorities, truly immaculate. The algorithm won, and she lost everything. 5. While chaos unfolded around him, this retiree was asleep. On a bench, in the shade, blissfully horizontal, while the all-aboard call came and went. He woke up refreshed, well-rested, possibly the calmest man in the hemisphere, stretched, and casually asked a port worker, "So when's the next one, sir?" The next one? This isn't a bus. There is no next one pulling up in 15 minutes. That ship is halfway to the next country. But honestly, respect the energy. No panic, no sprinting, no tears. Just a nap and a question. He treated a stranding like a minor scheduling hiccup. Icon behavior, genuinely. 6. Theme day struck again. This dad committed fully to the pirate costume. Eye patch, hat, the whole buccaneer aesthetic. Because the ship said dress up, and he takes instructions seriously. Then he got left behind. So now he's standing in an airport, explaining to very serious officials why a grown man is dressed like Captain Jack Sparrow, with no ship, no crew, and no explanation that doesn't sound insane. I missed my cruise. It's different when you're saying it in full pirate regalia. The officials aren't laughing. He's not laughing. Only the plastic parrot on his shoulder seems at peace with the situation. Indeed. 7. This man looked at a departing cruise ship, a massive, engine-powered vessel, and thought, I can catch that. In water. With my arms. So he swam. He genuinely dove in and swam after it, giving it everything, and made it a solid 40 feet before reality, physics, and exhaustion teamed up against him. Then a local fisherman had to haul him out, wearing the exact face of a man who has seen this before and is tired of it. Sir, it's a cruise ship. Not a taxi you can wave down mid-lane. 40 feet. You swam 40 feet toward a ship going 20 knots. Bold. Deeply stupid, but bold. 8. The ship's horn blasted its warning, that unmistakable deep "we are leaving now" sound. And this passenger heard it and thought, how atmospheric. He genuinely believed the departure horn was part of the vacation ambiance, like seagulls or ocean breeze. So he smiled. He waved at it. He waved at the sound telling him to run. That horn wasn't setting a mood, my friend. It was screaming your last warning directly at your face, and you responded like it was a friendly hello. That's not relaxation. That's a lack of survival instinct. The ship left, and he waved goodbye without even knowing it was goodbye. 9. Matching neon shirts. A family that clearly said, if we get separated, we'll spot each other instantly. Adorable planning. Useless execution. Because they ran as a unit, perfectly synchronized, perfectly coordinated, moving like a highlighter-colored flock of birds, straight toward a ship that had already left. All that teamwork, all that coordination, funneled into arriving late together. At least they'll be easy to find at the port office, glowing like traffic cones of regret. You had the shirts, you had the unity, you just didn't have the one thing that mattered, leaving the beach 10 minutes earlier. Beautifully organized failure, honestly. 10. This man saw the ship leaving and refused to accept defeat, so he negotiated passage on a tiny fishing boat, climbed aboard, and stood at the bow like the hero at the end of an action movie. Wind in his hair, eyes on the horizon, certain he'd catch his ride. The problem? A cruise ship goes about 20 knots. A tiny fishing boat does not. So he stood there, majestic and doomed, slowly not gaining any distance whatsoever. The pose was cinematic. The result was a man paying a fisherman to watch his vacation escape in higher definition. Great commitment to the bit though, truly. 11. A beachside massage. Warm sun, gentle hands, total serenity. The masseuse mentioned the time. This woman, half asleep and fully melted into the table, whispered the 4 most expensive words of her life. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. That's all it took. That's the entire margin. While she was getting a marginally better shoulder knot worked out, her ship untied and left without her. She traded an entire cruise for a slightly less tense upper back. And was the back worth it? Was that final 5 minutes of needing truly worth the flights, the hotel, the panic, the shame? Your trapezius has never cost anyone this much. Relaxed and ruined simultaneously. 12. Time zones. The silent destroyer of the overconfident traveler. This man set the wrong time zone on his phone, trusted it completely, and strolled back to the dock 2 full hours after the ship had gone. And the best part? He was confused, genuinely baffled, standing there checking his phone, which cheerfully insisted he was early, while the empty harbor screamed otherwise. Sir, your phone lied to you, and you believed it over the massive absence of a ship. The dock was empty. That's a pretty strong hint. But no, he trusted the little numbers over reality. 2 hours late and still arguing with his screen. Devastating. 13. A teenager, filming a TikTok dance on the dock, executing the choreography with absolute precision, hits every beat, nails the ending pose, right as her ship pulls away in the background. Flawless timing. For the dance. Catastrophic timing for literally everything else. But this generation doesn't panic, they pivot. So she turned the footage into a viral apology to her parents, who were watching from the deck, filming her being left behind. The dance was clean. The video blew up, and somewhere on that ship, 2 parents are watching their child go viral for missing the boat they're currently on. Modern family bonding, truly. 14. This man's downfall was magnets. Souvenir fridge magnets. He bought so many that he lost track of time, standing at a scale, weighing his shopping bags, calculating luggage limits like a man defusing a bomb. Meanwhile, the all-aboard call came and went, unnoticed, drowned out by the sheer gravitational pull of his magnet collection. Sir, no fridge on Earth needs that many magnets. You weighed your bags so carefully you forgot to weigh the risk of, missing the ship. He optimized the shopping and completely fumbled the transportation. That's a man who'll have a beautifully decorated refrigerator and a very long, very expensive way home. 15. The port casino claimed another victim. This man was on a hot streak. Cards falling his way, chips stacking up, that dangerous feeling of invincibility washing over him. So when it was time to leave, he said the gambler's most famous last words. One more hand. One more hand became one more, became one more, became an empty harbor. The house always wins, but in this case, the ship also won, because it left without him. He was so busy chasing a jackpot, he lost the vacation the jackpot was funding. That's the real gamble, buddy, and you cashed out your cruise. The odds were never in your favor here. 16. When the ship started leaving, this man didn't accept it. He went to port security and tried to bribe them, actual money, to radio the captain and turn it around. And when they said no, he didn't stop. He just raised the offer, higher and higher. Like the problem was the price, not the fact that a cruise ship cannot simply pull a U-turn in open water for one guy. Sir, they're not withholding the ship because you underpaid. There's no secret amount that reverses a departure. But he kept negotiating, increasingly desperate, as if the harbor had a manager he could speak to. Bribery denied. Ship gone. 17. This woman felt the full weight of it and broke down crying right there on the dock. The real, shoulders shaking, everything is over kind of cry. And then, mid-sob, she did the only rational thing. She bought an ice cream cone. And she stood there, tears streaming, eating ice cream, fully accepting her fate one lick at a time. Honestly, emotionally mature. She grieved, she processed, she got dessert. That's healthier than half the people on this list. Tears and sprinkles, salt and sugar, despair and dairy, all at once. She lost the cruise but found inner peace and a decent snack. Genuinely the correct response, no notes. 18. This one trusted Google Maps a little too much. It said, walk to the dock, so she walked, following the little blue line with total faith, straight into a quiet residential neighborhood a full mile from the port. Just her, some confused locals, and a GPS that had clearly given up on her. At what point, ma'am, did the lack of ocean not tip you off? You were surrounded by houses and lawn chairs, not water and ships. But she trusted the app right up until she was standing in someone's suburb, staring at a map while her actual ride sailed away. Technology failed her. So did common sense. 19. So close. This man realized he'd forgotten his wife's purse at a cafe, and being the responsible one, he sprinted back to grab it. Heroic, thoughtful, completely fatal. Because by the time he returned, purse in hand, mission accomplished, the harbor was empty. Fully empty. He saved the purse and lost the ship, the luggage, and possibly the marriage, since the purse owner was already on board watching him become a speck. You did the right thing, sir. You retrieved the item. You just didn't do the fast thing, and cruise ships wait for no gentleman. Now you've got a purse, and no destination. Noble and doomed. 20. This man managed to leave his passport, his phone, and his wallet on the ship. The holy trinity of things you absolutely need, and was now standing on a foreign dock in nothing but swim shorts. No ID, no money, no way to call anyone. Just vibes and legs. Sir, you didn't just miss the ship, you achieved a full factory reset of your entire life. How do you even begin explaining this to anyone? Hi, I'm a legal ghost in swim trunks. Please help. He's not a passenger anymore, he's a beach mystery. Everything he owned floated away, and he's got sunscreen and hope left. 21. An iguana. This man's entire vacation was undone by a wild iguana. He got so absorbed taking selfies with this reptile, angling for the perfect shot, probably trying to get it to smile, that he tuned out the all-aboard call entirely. Fully checked out of reality for a lizard photo shoot. Sir, the iguana did not care about you. The iguana was not going to follow you. The iguana lives there and now. So do you, apparently. He missed a cruise for a creature that would happily bite his hand off. Somewhere that iguana is basking on a rock, completely unbothered, having accidentally stranded a grown man. Nature's little prank. 22. Street tacos. The forbidden gamble of every port stop. This couple took the risk, ate the tacos, and paid the ultimate price. Trapped in a restaurant bathroom, thoroughly indisposed, during the final boarding call. And there's nothing you can do in that situation. You can't negotiate with it. You can't run for the ship. You are exactly where the tacos have decided you will be. So while the horn blew outside, They were fighting a very different battle inside, and losing both. The vacation ended not with a bang but with a rumble. That's the danger of authentic local cuisine, folks. Delicious going in, catastrophic on the way out. 23. This man heard the ship was leaving, felt the panic, and did what panic does. He ran. Full speed, maximum effort, in completely the wrong direction, away from the port. Sprinting with total conviction toward absolutely nothing helpful, getting farther from salvation with every heroic stride, until a stranger had to physically flag him down and point out that the ocean, and therefore the ship, was behind him. Sir, effort is not the problem, direction is the problem. You ran your heart out toward a dead end. That's like studying all night for the wrong exam. 10 out of 10 for cardio, 0 out of 10 for navigation. 24. While everyone else spiraled, this man simply walked to a dockside bar, sat down, and calmly ordered a margarita. And as the ship pulled away, his ship, his room, his stuff, he raised his glass and toasted it, cool as anything, like this had been the plan all along. No panic, no sprint, just a man, a cocktail, and complete acceptance. Honestly, the confidence is unreal. He turned a disaster into a happy hour. Everyone else is crying and negotiating with fishermen, and this legend is sipping tequila, watching his vacation dissolve like it's a sunset he paid for. Stranded, sure, but stranded with style and a garnish. 25. The view was worth it, he thought. So this man climbed all the way up a lighthouse, every winding, exhausting step, to see the scenery from the top. And the view probably was spectacular, stunning even. Then he made the long climb back down, legs burning, heart full, and walked out to a completely empty harbor. Sir, you scaled an entire lighthouse to get a better look at the ocean, and the ocean thanked you by taking your ship while you weren't looking. All those stairs, all that effort, for a view of the exact water your cruise was busy escaping across. The lighthouse guided every ship home except yours. 26. This man didn't cry. He didn't run. He didn't do anything. He just stood there, in total silent disbelief, for 10 straight minutes, staring at the empty water like his brain had crashed and refused to reboot. No acceptance, no plan, just a man frozen in time, arguing with reality, using only the power of not blinking. Sir, staring at it won't bring it back. The ship isn't going to reappear because you refuse to process its departure. But there he stood, a monument to denial, mentally buffering at 0%. Sometimes the mind protects you from bad news by simply not accepting it. 10 minutes of pure, motionless disbelief. Truly a statue of regret. 27. Timing is everything, and this woman had the worst of it. She was mid-tattoo at a local shop, permanently inking a souvenir into her skin, and decided to finish the outline before heading back. Just the outline. Surely there's time for the outline. There was not. She walked out, fresh ink and all, to a vanished ship. So now she's got a permanent reminder of the exact vacation she got stranded on. Every time she looks at that tattoo, she'll remember the harbor, the horn she ignored, and the choice to prioritize line work over logistics. That's not a souvenir, ma'am. That's a scar with extra steps. 28. While waiting around, this dad made a mortal enemy, a seagull. The bird stole his sandwich, and instead of letting it go, he fought back. He engaged. A grown man, locked in single combat with a beach bird over lunch, flailing and shouting while onlookers watched in secondhand embarrassment. And he lost. He lost the sandwich and his dignity, all while his ship, apparently, also decided to leave during the scuffle. Sir, you cannot win against a seagull. They have no shame, no fear, and infinite backup. You brought pride to a battle the bird had already won. Now you're sandwichless, dignityless, and boatless. A truly complete defeat. 29. A street parade rolled through, full of music and color, and this woman thought, why not? She joined in, got swept up in the dancing, the rhythm, the joy of the moment, living her best spontaneous life. And by the time the music faded, she looked up and realized she was blocks away from the port. And the ship. Look, seizing the moment is beautiful. Dancing with strangers in a foreign land is the stuff of travel dreams. But the parade was going one way, and her ship was going another, and only one of them cared where she needed to be. She danced her way out of a vacation, rhythmically doomed. 30. This man found out he'd been left behind not from a horn, not from a crew member, not from his own eyes, but from the family group chat. The messages were already rolling in. "Where are you? The ship's moving. Dad? Dad?" He read the news of his own stranding in real time, delivered via notification before he'd even reached the dock. Imagine learning your vacation is over from a text. No dramatic sprint, no last-second dive, just a buzzing phone confirming what the family already knew. The group chat clocked his absence faster than he did, left behind and roasted digitally, all before he arrived. Efficiency, honestly. 31. Ziplining through the jungle, soaring between trees, wind rushing past. This woman was having the adventure of a lifetime, fully confident the excursion company had the timing handled. Surely they'd get her back to the ship. That's their job, right? It was not. Or rather, it was. But the jungle had other plans, and she came gliding out of the canopy to discover her ship had ziplined right out of the harbor without her. She trusted the professionals, and the professionals trusted the schedule, and the schedule trusted no one. Adrenaline high, vacation over. She flew through the trees and straight past her only ride home. Thrilling, catastrophic. 32. While everyone else panicked, this man got tactical. He whipped out his phone, booked a last-minute flight to the ship's next port, and started calculating layovers, connection times, and arrival windows with the intensity of a NASA engineer plotting a moon landing. This is the response of a man who refuses to lose. No crying, no swimming, just cold, ruthless logistics. He turned a disaster into a spreadsheet and a boarding pass. Honestly, respect. While others waved at horns and fought seagulls, this legend was rerouting himself across the map to reunite with his crews. Guess not panic. That's problem solving. He missed the ship, but he did not miss the point. 33. Instead of panicking, this couple looked at the empty dock, looked at each other, and started dancing. Right there, on the abandoned harbor. They decided that if they were going to be stranded, they'd make it the most romantic disaster ever, swaying together while their ship shrank on the horizon. And you know what? Iconic. Everyone else on this list is fighting birds and bribing security, and these two turned a catastrophe into a love story. No stress, no blame, just a slow dance and a shared shrug. That's a marriage that'll survive anything. The ship left, but the vibes stayed immaculate. Genuinely the healthiest response documented here. Get you a partner who dances through disaster. 34. This man stood at the water's edge and screamed the captain's name across the harbor. Loudly, desperately, repeatedly, as though he and the captain were old friends who'd simply had a misunderstanding. As if the captain would hear his name, gasp, and go, "Wait, that's my buddy. Turn the whole ship around." Sir, you do not know the captain. The captain does not know you. You are one of thousands of names on a manifest, and shouting into the wind won't change the ship's 50,000-ton momentum. But there he was, yelling across the ocean like it was a personal betrayal. The captain didn't hear you. The seagulls did. They were unimpressed too. 35. This passenger channeled all his energy into blaming the tour company, and he did it loudly. So loudly, in fact, that a small crowd gathered, not to help, but to watch. He became live entertainment, ranting about schedules and responsibility, while onlookers pulled up front-row seats to the meltdown. And look, maybe the tour company was partly at fault, but screaming about it on the dock doesn't summon the ship back, it just gives strangers a story. He wanted accountability, and instead became a street performance. The crowd got a free show, the tour company got yelled at from a distance, and the ship got farther away. Everyone won, except him. 36. While others spiraled, this retiree made friends. Within 10 minutes of being stranded, he'd befriended a group of locals, and instead of panicking, he ended up at a backyard barbecue, eating, laughing, living his best life. He didn't lose a vacation, he upgraded to a better one. No overpriced cruise buffet, just genuine hospitality, grilled food, and new friends who found the whole situation hilarious. Honestly, this man cracked the code. Everyone else is fighting seagulls and swimming after ships, and he's out here with a plate of local barbecue and zero regrets. The ship left with his luggage, but he left with a story and full stomach. Winning. 37. This woman genuinely believed it was a 2-day port stop. So when the ship left, she wasn't worried in the slightest. She strolled back the next morning, coffee in hand, relaxed, ready to reboard the ship that had departed roughly 18 hours earlier. Imagine that walk, that slow, caffeinated, blissfully unaware saunter toward an empty harbor. The confusion that must have hit when the reality, and the absence of a giant ship, finally registered over her morning latte. Ma'am, it was never a 2-day stop. It was never even close. You had a whole peaceful evening not knowing you were stranded. Ignorance was bliss, right up until the coffee got cold. 38. This man rented a scooter and chased the ship along the coast road, determined to keep pace, buzzing down the shoreline like an action hero in pursuit. And for a while, maybe it felt possible. Him on the road, the ship on the water, both racing forward. Then the road did what roads do near the ocean. It ended. At a cliff. So there he stood, scooter idling, staring at a sheer drop and a ship that had no intention of stopping. Sir, roads and ships do not share a finish line. You chased a cruise on a moped straight into a geographic dead end. Full commitment, zero payoff. The cliff won. 39. So close, yet so stuck. This man was making great time back to the ship, until he got trapped in a slow elevator at a portside mall. And not just any elevator, the kind that moves like it's contemplating its life choices. So while the final boarding call echoed across the port outside, he was sealed in a metal box, listening to elevator music, powerless, ascending at the speed of regret. Imagine hearing the horn through the walls, knowing your ride is leaving, and being unable to do anything but watch the little numbers change. He didn't miss the ship because he was late. He missed it because a mall elevator betrayed him. Cruel. 40. This man decided the solution to his problem was spiritual. As the ship pulled away, he closed his eyes, stretched his arms out toward the ocean, and tried to manifest it coming back, whispering to the water, projecting positive energy, willing a 50,000-ton vessel to reverse through sheer belief. Sir, the universe is not going to U-turn a cruise ship because you ask nicely with your eyes shut. That's not how manifestation works. That's not how anything works. But there he stood, arms out like he was charging his phone off the sea breeze, whispering to physics. The ocean did not listen. The ship did not return, but points for optimism, I guess. 41. The moment this passenger got left behind, he didn't cry. He monetized. Immediately started a live stream titled, "I Got Left in Paradise," turning his personal catastrophe into content in real time. And the internet, being the internet, ate it up. He gained followers by the thousands while losing his grip on sanity by the second. Sir, you're stranded in a foreign country with no ship, and your first instinct was engagement metrics? But honestly, in 2026, that's the smart move. He turned abandonment into an audience. Everyone else got a nightmare, he got a niche. Left behind, low on options, but trending. The algorithm giveth what the cruise line taketh away. 42. A local soccer match was happening, and this man made a decision. He was watching it to the final whistle. Ship or no ship, cruise or no cruise. Nothing was pulling him away from that stadium before full time, and so, gloriously committed and completely doomed, he watched 90+ minutes of football while his vacation quietly sailed off without him. Sir, that is dedication I both respect and question. The match will be replayed. The ship will not. But he chose passion over practicality, cheering in the stands while his cabin drifted into the horizon. He didn't miss the game, at least. Priorities are priorities, even the financially devastating ones. 43. This man trusted a stranger's local shortcut back to port. Those magic words that have ended more journeys than any storm. The stranger promised a faster route, a secret path, insider knowledge. And that shortcut somehow added a full hour to his trip. A shortcut that made it longer. A negative shortcut. Sir, the word shortcut from a random stranger is a red flag, not a gift. You wandered scenic back streets chasing efficiency and arrived at an empty harbor with plenty of time to reflect on your choices. The stranger meant well, probably. Or didn't. Either way, the ship left, and the shortcut cut short exactly one thing: your vacation. 44. Plot twist. Only one of them got left behind. This couple got separated in the chaos, and while one of them stood stranded on the dock, the other was already safely on deck. Not panicking. Not worried. filming and laughing, capturing their partner's abandonment in high definition for the family archives. Imagine looking up from the dock to see your own significant other leaning over the railing, phone out, cackling. That's not a relationship, that's a betrayal with commentary. One's marooned in a foreign port, the other's getting content and a good chuckle. Somewhere that footage exists, and it will be played at every family gathering for the next 30 years. 45. A gust of wind stole this man's hat, and rather than let it go, "It's a hat, sir. Hats are replaceable." He gave chase. Down the boardwalk he went, dignity abandoned, sprinting after a runaway hat like it held the secrets of the universe. And he caught it. Victory! Except the entire time he was hat hunting, his ship was leaving. So he saved a piece of fabric and lost an entire cruise. That's the worst trade since the keychain lady. A hat. You can buy a hat anywhere. You cannot buy back a departed ship for the price of the accessory you just heroically rescued. Well-hatted and thoroughly stranded. 46. 30 seconds. That's all that separated this woman from her ship. She missed the very last tender boat back, the little shuttle that ferries passengers from shore to ship, by half a minute. Half a minute. She watched it pull away from the dock, so close she could probably read the faces of the people who made it, powerless as her only ride glided out of reach. That's the cruelest margin on this whole list. Not 2 hours, not a wrong time zone, 30 seconds. One slightly faster walk, one skipped photo, one less souvenir, and she'd have made it. Instead, she got a front row view of leaving without her. Brutal. 47. When the ship left, this woman tried a bold negotiation tactic with port staff. She explained, with complete seriousness, that she was very important on the ship's trivia team, as if that title carried weight, as if the Port Authority had a special protocol for esteemed trivia champions, as if the captain would hear, "She knows the capital of Uruguay," and immediately order a return. Ma'am, your trivia standing means nothing on dry land. The ship does not run on general knowledge. But she stated it with such conviction, such genuine belief in her nautical quiz importance, that you almost admire it. Almost. The ship left anyway. Even team captain couldn't answer her way back aboard. 48. This man was so locked into a heated work video call that he paced blocks away from the dock, gesturing, arguing, completely absorbed in whatever quarterly nonsense had him fired up, utterly oblivious to the ship's horn blasting behind him. He was winning the meeting and losing the vacation simultaneously. "Sir, you're on a cruise. The entire point is to not take work calls." But there he was, defending a deadline while his actual escape sailed off into the sunset. The call probably didn't even need him. He sacrificed a whole vacation to be reachable. That email could have waited. The ship, famously, could not. Employee of the month, passenger of never. 49. And finally, the man who simply accepted it. The ship left, and instead of panicking, running, or crying, he shrugged, said, "Well, I've always wanted to live here," and calmly walked off into town like the closing scene of an indie film. No struggle, no denial. Just a man and a new life, chosen in an instant. Honestly, that might be the most powerful move on this entire list. Everyone else fought reality. He embraced it. He didn't miss a ship, he found a home. Roll credits. Somewhere he's probably running a beach bar right now, telling this exact story to tourists, completely unbothered. The ship left. He arrived. And there you have it. 49 people who learned that cruise ships have exactly zero interest in your excuses, your keychains, or your trivia rankings. The ocean waits for no one, and neither does the captain. If you laughed at even one of these beautiful disasters, smash that like button, subscribe to BrainFumble, and ring the notification bell so you never miss the next batch of chaos. Share it with that one friend who's definitely getting left behind someday. Now tell me in the comments, if you got stranded at port, would you panic, swim, or just start a new life like Point 49? Spill it.